Hello to everyone joining us. Hello, my name is Travis Newville, and I live and work here at Shambhala Mountain Center, where we're going to be hosting a retreat towards the end of July, July 18th to 20th, called Bridges to Heaven, which is a grief healing workshop. It's going to be hosted by Sue Frederick. Sue Frederick is the author of Bridges to Heaven, True Stories of Loved Ones on the Other Side, as well as I See Your Soulmate, and another book, I See Your Dream Job. Sue has been an intuitive since childhood. She's trained more than 200 intuitive coaches around the world, and her work has been featured in the New York Times, CNN.com, and Yoga Journal, among other media outlets. And we're very glad to have Sue here today to have a little bit of discussion related to her workshop and her work. So Sue, thank you so much for taking the time to have some discussion today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I love teaching at Shambhala. It's a wonderful place.
Good. It's a joy to have you here. So to begin with, how does your work as an intuitive facilitate the healing process for people, which I imagine is what's going to be going on in the retreat you'll be leading?
Well, I believe that we're all intuitive, not just me, but yet I've learned some techniques and meditations that allow me to tap into the other realms that I know that everyone can experience those same meditations and connect to the other side. And I help people who are grieving to learn that they can have their own experience of connecting to the divine realms and even having a healing conversation with their departed loved one. And what I've learned is that it's one thing not very helpful for an intuitive person to say, yes, I sense your departed father and he says this or that, because the person goes, oh, well, you must have that gift of connecting and I don't, and they go home and their life isn't changed. But if you teach a person how to, an everyday person who's grieving the loss of their child or their spouse, teach them how to quiet their mind through meditation and spiritual practice, and then open their heart and then feel the energy of their departed, then their life is changed because they know they carry that in them all the time and they can access that connection whenever they want. And that's what we experience in the workshop.
Is there a danger of all of people maybe misinterpreting what they're experiencing and maybe becoming confused about whether the energy they're feeling is their departed one or something else?
We start, it's a 3-day workshop, so we start with doing sharing our stories so that everyone can have the first night where people tell the story of who they've lost, and it's I really consider that our night of pain because everyone is telling very, very sad stories of loss, and we allow that loss and sadness to come out. And then I guide the group through my Break Your Heart Wide Open meditation that helps begin to move some of that pain out of the heart chakra. And then by the next morning, we come in and we start other steps and other processes and other meditations so that by the time we're doing this reconnection meditation work where we are connecting to our loved ones, we've gone through a whole process of getting there. And the people who are grieving, I'm guiding them step by step in how to have the connection, and then I have them writing what they're experiencing as they're connecting. And so they'll start writing after we do the meditation. They start writing, and by the end of 30 minutes we go around and share what everyone has written. It's the most healing thing, and I just consider myself the facilitator. I'm just blessed to be the facilitator of it. But for example, last summer, one of the students had lost her 20-year-old son, and she was so devastated the first night she could hardly speak as she told her story. And by the end of the workshop, she was reading everything her son had said to her in her meditation in his words, and there were so many pieces of it that were clear to her and to us were not from her mind. They were really from the energy of her beautiful departed son. And she was just filled with joy. And, you know, many people experience a great spiritual crisis when they go through grief. They aren't sure if their loved one's soul continues or where it goes or if it exists. And that's really the great heartache of grief and loss. And by going through a process where you personally can feel that loving energy from your departed trying to comfort you, it's life-changing for people. And I have students and clients who I've worked with over the years who just tell me over and over again how the moment that we did that together, it changed their whole perspective on everything. It's really a spiritual awakening process.
Mm. And is it, would you say, broadly accessible to a range of spiritual faiths, or is it more closely linked to?
No, that's the great thing, is that we do talk a lot about the difference between spirituality and religion, and what different religions say about what happens when we die, and how those beliefs resonate with people as, you know, do they resonate as true or not, and how does that feel, and what are your own personal beliefs. That's a big part of our conversation before we begin. And then we make it very clear that spirituality and meditation have nothing to do with religion. It is simply a process of quieting the mind. And everyone has a monkey mind. Everyone has a left brain that's constantly giving them chatter, that's constantly also giving them fear voices and negativity. But we also all have the right brain, which is our connection to our higher self, our divinity, and our intuition. And that's what the process of the workshop is, really quieting that left brain monkey mind, tapping into the right brain, which opens us up to our divinity, our higher selves, wrapping ourselves in love and light so that we are going to the highest realms of divinity, and then feeling the energy there. And when someone you love crosses over, they have a very deep bond to help you heal, and they will come and try to comfort you and help you. And, you know, the quantum physicists say that time and space is not linear, it's happening all at once. And that's part of why we don't believe that we can connect, because we think, oh, well, they've moved on, whether they've gone to, you know, heaven, if that's your religion, or reincarnation, if that's what you believe. But the truth is, they can be anywhere, and they can still come and comfort us and help us heal.
Wow, that's a lot to try to wrap the intellectual mind around, you know. I could see how the weekend there'll be more time to kind of expand into those ideas.
And, you know, that's the thing, it really is an expansion. I mean, the thing that just makes me so happy is the process, and I just keep wanting everyone to experience it, you know, from starting with the Friday night stories to going to Sunday afternoon sharing how people feel and what they've heard from their departed loved ones. It is like turning the light on in a dark room. It is so profound, and everyone in the group is affected by it. You know, even when I've taught very large groups at other retreat centers like Kripalu and places like that, it's just profound. Even the most cynical and grief-stricken person on Friday night, by Sunday, is having an experience that is opening their heart, getting them to believe in the continuation of spirit, and having their own healing messages. And it's an amazing thing to be a part of.
You discussed this process in a blog piece that you wrote for us, in which the experience of pain and grief, like, actually is a really important and precious opportunity to access some higher consciousness or higher self. I wonder if you could say something about.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see things, that when we come here on planet Earth and incarnated in a human body, we are often asleep here, and we forget that we're a soul, that we've come here on a journey of evolution, that we come from the divine realms, and the things that wake us up are the painful moments, whether we lose someone we love, or even if we lose a job we love, or we lose, if people experience financial problems. Those are the moments when we finally sort of take a breath and go, wait a minute, who am I? Why am I here? And what is the purpose of my life? And those are the only important questions to ever ask, because that's when we begin to remember that we are a soul on a journey. We did come here on purpose to evolve and to help others. And that awakening changes everything in our life. And without that grief, that heartbreak, we really haven't begun to live here. And when I work with my grieving clients and students, I tell them, if Divine Mother Grief has chosen you as her student, consider yourself very blessed, because she is the greatest spiritual teacher we have.
It's almost counter instinctual or counter, cultural.
Right. Well, this has been the lesson of my lifetime. My husband died when I was in my 20s, and my best girlfriend died the year after that, and my father, and on and on. I've lost so many people I love, so many of them quite young. And the world would look at that as tragic. I look at it as the greatest blessing of my life, because it made me ask those hard questions. Where did my loved ones go? Why am I here? Why does someone young and healthy, like my husband, die a tragic death of suffering through cancer? And those sorts of questions get us looking beyond the physical world for the real meaning of soul and spirit and who we are.
This upcoming weekend definitely seems like a rich opportunity to connect with that dimension of our of our lives, our potential. Is there anything else at all that you want to say about the retreat in particular? What people might experience there?
I would like to tell people that even if they aren't sure what they believe, even if they think maybe there's nothing beyond the physical world, or even if they think that their loved one died 10 or 20 years ago, so what's the point? As long as they feel they have a longing to understand grief and death, or they have a longing to have a healing moment with their departed, I hope that they will come to the workshop, because I know they will find something that heals them and helps them.
Thank you so much, and we hope they'll come to the workshop too. We hope whoever is tuned in, watching, or listening, we warmly invite you to come up for this special weekend with Sue. And thank you for tuning in and listening to this conversation, and thanks again so much to you, Sue.
Thank you so much.
Just one more time, the program's called Bridges to Heaven, a grief healing workshop, and it'll be hosted here at Shambhala Mountain Center July 18th to July 20th. So you can check out our website for some more information, shambhalamountain.org, and to register. And we will be in touch again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.